Right then, guys, letting the softness in part two. So part one, I basically explained to everybody how you're letting the softness in with your emotions. You're just feeling like you don't want to do things. You're thinking about women too much. You're thinking about certain scenarios. Like you're led in bed and you're picturing this woman that you're in love with. Stop. Okay. Every time you get to these points in life where you start complaining about something, just stop yourself. Go blank. Your mind needs to go blank every single time. If you can do that, if you can practice that, guess what happens? You end up getting shit done. And part two, what I want to talk about is that your feelings and your emotions are largely unimportant. They really don't matter in the big picture of things. Do you know what it would look like to a higher level species? Imagine when you look at a child, for example, and they're crying over the fact they can't have a lollipop. And they're crying their eyes out, stamping their feet, and we as adults look and go, oh, and we kind of laugh about it like, nah, this is a bit stupid. Oh, she really wants a lolly, do you know what I mean? We'll make a little excuse for them and start laughing. That's what a higher species would do if they were looking at us. I was just walking around here. I always go for a walk before it gets dark. And I was walking along and I was thinking about like a problem I have to solve right now with the business. I was like, this is tough. How am I going to solve this? I was like, what do I do? What do I do? And then I was walking past this bench and there was this couple and she was crying and he was consoling her. They were older. They were in their like late 40s, early 50s. She was crying in a way that I can only describe as like a lost child because I've seen it before. And it hurt to my fucking soul because I've experienced that with different people that are close to me. And I just walked past and I was like, and then all of a sudden my problem became a solution. It became something that I was happy about that I got to work on. And I was like, yeah, it's just reframing, isn't it? Like nothing's ever that bad. Like it could be significantly worse. And that's when you realize your kind of emotions and your feelings and how you feel towards wanting to do something. Like it's currently, I don't know what time it is. I don't really care anymore these days. Every hour just merges into each other. But it's probably about 8 o'clock at night. And I was a little bit tired. I was like struggling to find the motivation to do this, but I just didn't think. I just sat down, pressed the button, and lo and behold, I'm sat here now talking to you guys. And I'm going to make another 10 videos or probably 9 videos before I go to bed. That's the plan anyway. My plan was to make 10 today, 10 tomorrow so that I can schedule them all for you guys as planned. Really didn't want to do it. I've been training all day. I went for a run this morning, hit the gym today. And I've done quite a lot and I'm pretty tired and I didn't really want to do it. But I was like, my feelings and my emotions towards this are largely unimportant. I'm letting softness in. And like I said, you just go blank. You just let your mind go blank. It's the easiest thing in the world. I want to bring you guys attention to, and again, I might use this at the start. There's a speech from a film called Bleed for This. And in this film, the woman sits down with him, does an interview. He's a former boxer who came back from a horrific injury. And she sits down with him and she says,
"What was the biggest lie you were told?"
And then he replies with,
"It's not that simple."
Why not?
No, that's the biggest lie I was ever told. It's not that simple. And it's a lie they tell you over and over again.
What's not simple?
Any of it. All of it. It's how they get you to give up. They say it's not that simple, Vinny.
So what's the truth?
That it is. That if you just do the thing that they tell you you can't, then it's done. And you realize it is that simple. That it always was.
and I completely agree with this. I honestly think that life is so easy. It's just, as Dan Pena used to say, we trod on our dick. Endlessly just trod on our own dick. We get in our own way. For example, tonight, I could have been so tired that I decided to just watch some movies. And then I wasn't really feeling it. I was too tired. I couldn't do it tonight. I'll do it tomorrow. How many times if you do that in your life, will it result in you having a negative life? How many times can you do that until it actually has negative consequences? And then in a year or two's time, you're not quite where you want to be. And you know why. But you're not going to admit it to anybody. You're not going to tell the world why. And this is something that I think society has been built upon. I think it encourages people to let the softness in. What it does is it gives you things to think about. I realized this when I no longer had a 9-to-5 job. When I went full-time on my business, I started to come up with these really good ideas, and I started to find cryptocurrencies that nobody else had found. And I was like, am I some sort of genius? And people start telling you you're a genius online in your comment section. You get a little bit carried away with it. And then you just realize, no, truth be told, it's just that I've got more time than everybody else to think about these things. And I think this is what society does. Society has built everything in such a way that there is constant distractions to help you let the softness in. Weekends, for example, like I've said to you guys before, the calendar effect. Why does it have to be the first of the month before you do anything when it comes to New Year? New Year, new me. I'm going to wait until the calendar has a 1 in it to make an impact. That's so strange. I don't understand that. Why is it that if it's a Saturday or a Sunday, you can't work? Why is that? Why is it when it's Christmas, everyone just takes time off? Now, look, I'm not some Scrooge. Spend time with your family, enjoy yourself. But why do you have to? Why do you have to stop working at 5 p.m? Why can't you work a little bit longer? Are you actually tired, or are you tired because the clock says it's 5 p.m. and you're meant to be tired at 5 p.m. because that's what the media has told you? That's what movies have told you? Because truth be told, you're not actually that tired. I don't really get that tired. I don't actually need that much sleep. I don't need to do a lot of the things that the world has told me that I need to do. And it brings me back to, I think his name's Vinnie Polenza's speech, or Polenza. It's not that easy is actually the biggest lie that I've ever been told to. And when people say that to me, when people say it's not that simple, or, oh, you make it sound easy, it's like, because it is. And everything I've ever done has actually been that simple. Has it been easy along the way? No, there's hiccups, there's challenges, but it really is that easy to do. It's not that complicated. Any good plan I've ever had that's changed has then gone full circle and come back and ended up as the same plan, but a different improved version of it. And then you realize it really is that simple. Everything you're trying to achieve. You want to get in shape? Guess what happens? You get loaded with so much information, complexity, left field, right field, there's a center path, you can take that one, you can go above, you can go below, you can go through the wall. There's so many options. But it's not true. Everybody gives you all these options, everyone gives you these strategies for getting in shape and says apple cider vinegar. Trust me, this one tip is going to get you a six-pack this summer. And it just goes crazy. And it's all marketing, it's all to sell some shit. But the reality of fitness is go to bed, get some sunlight, drink water, hit the gym, do a little bit of cardio, and eat good food. It just doesn't really change. It's never really changed. It's like 90% diet, sleep, water, and fitness. Just going to the gym and just increasing your intensity and just not being a lazy bastard when you walk into that gym. Not sitting on your phone for an hour, but actually challenging yourself and trying to push to higher weights. It's very simple. And it's never changed. What is the secret to success? Just having really good ideas, executing on them well, and just putting a lot of time in. That's all it is, really. Like, it's never been it's never been easier than that. What is the secret to wealth? Making a lot of money and not spending a lot, and then investing it in things that are more likely to make money than not. And then over a long period of time, 10, 15, 20 years, you're going to be very wealthy. Everybody tries to make things so complicated, and it's because we wouldn't have this industry without it. We wouldn't have a fitness industry without it. We wouldn't have everything that we have without it. I've noticed this recently with sports. I'm a massive Manchester City fan ever since I was a kid. I was 4 years old, and I think I was at Manchester City Gillingham, the old Wembley. I might be one of the last people alive that was actually at that game. I imagine there's a few, like 10,000 people left, but at some point I'm going to be probably the last living person that was at that game. Because if I was 4 years old, who was going to a game like that? So I've realized in the last few years that sports is a bit of a scam. I made a video on it. It's a wild distraction to make you emotional, to People say, oh, it's like Monsters Inc., where they're stealing your emotions. That's what stadiums are. No. Like, how? Like, come on, let's not be stupid. Let's not be children here. It's a way of making you emotional and distracted. They're not stealing your emotions. They just want you to be emotional so that you don't think about things that actually matter. And as a Manchester City fan, we're currently facing 115 charges, and we're currently, I mean, as I make this, we're currently top of the league, second in the league. I think Arsenal are drawing. But there's so much media around what we're doing. And it's like, are they going to be good this season? Are they the same as they used to be? What's their all-time 11? Who would make it into this all-time? And I've just realized all of it's nonsense. Everything but the actual 90 minutes of the game just means nothing. And even then, once it's over, again, it kind of means nothing, as long as there's no major consequences. But people have this kind of idea of like, you have to watch the pre-match build-up. And then people do challenges like a combined XI, a combined 11. And then they do, you know, who's the better striker between Kane and Haaland? Let's do a vote, let's do a debate. I just realized like all of that is just somewhat nonsense. It's just like none of it matters until the actual game. Like pre-match analysis, post-match analysis, what's going to happen, let's analyze what happens. It's just after the facts or pre-fact. It just doesn't matter. It's just like all that matters in that is that 90 minutes there. And that's the way that I see life now. I see life in the same way. It's like, I feel tired. I don't want to do this. A new movie's just come out. It's Saturday, everyone's out. I want to be out enjoying myself. Oh, I haven't had a drink in a while. But then you just kind of just go blank and just sit there and go, without all these distractions, it really is that simple. I can actually do anything I've ever wanted to do as long as I just let my mind go blank. I don't care about anything else. And I just get very singular focused on a singular goal. At the end of all of that, it's all going to come together. I actually think this is why a lot of stupid people become successful and smart people don't. Because smart people overthink and they have real hobbies and, you know, they struggle socially. Whereas I think stupid people they find it so easy to be social that their brains are just kind of like semi-switched off at any given moment and they just know what they need to do and they just go and do it. Whereas a lot of us, we overcomplicate. They say creative people are laziest because they need like an hour or two just to do nothing and then they go. Now imagine if you just switched your brain off and you were just in that mode 24/7. You were able to just tap into the neocortex and just go, what is it that I need to do? And that would be my message to you guys in this video, is don't let the softness in. Anytime you see something like that, just realize like my emotions, the way I actually feel is largely unimportant. It has no benefit to my life. It doesn't really have a negative to my life. The only thing that matters is just doing the right thing at the right time. If this work needs to be done, I need to get it done. I'm tired. Nobody really matters. The work doesn't matter, or the work doesn't care. The work doesn't care if you're tired. It's still going to be there in the morning. If you do it now, it's going to be done in the morning. It doesn't matter. It's just kind of, everything is insignificant, you know? Everything that you are, everything that you believe, everything that you think, everything that you do on a day-to-day basis, kind of insignificant. The only thing that really matters is just getting things done. That's all it is. We're just worker bees. And when you think about it that way, when you look at it as just very black and white and you cut out all the noise and all the nonsense like Vinny did, and you just look at the reporter in front of you, which is probably you in the mirror, and you just say, it's not that simple. That was the biggest lie that I've ever been told.
That if you just do the thing that they tell you you can't, then it's done. And you realize it is that simple. That it always was.